Once upon a time, in a big green meadow, there lived a colony of ants. These ants were very hardworking. Every day, they woke up early and started collecting food for the winter. They carried tiny grains of rice, wheat, and corn back to their anthill. They worked from morning till evening without rest. Not far from the anthill, there lived a grasshopper. The grasshopper was lazy. He loved to sing and play all day long. While the ants worked hard, the grasshopper danced in the sunshine, played his fiddle, and laughed at the ants. One day, the grasshopper saw the ants carrying food. He laughed and said, "Why do you work so hard? There is plenty of food now. Just enjoy life like me." An old ant replied, "We are storing food for the winter. When the cold days come, there will be no food in the meadow. If we don't collect food now, we will go hungry." The grasshopper laughed even louder. "Winter is far away. There is no need to worry now. I will find food when I need it," he said. Days passed and summer turned into autumn. The wind became colder and leaves began to fall. The ants continued to work hard, storing more and more food in their anthill. But the grasshopper still spent his days singing and playing. Then winter arrived. Snow covered the ground, and the trees became bare. The meadow, which was once full of food, was now empty. The grasshopper searched for food, but there was none. The cold wind blew, and he shivered. He was hungry and weak. Meanwhile, inside the anthill, the ants were warm and safe. They had plenty of food to eat because of their hard work. They sat together and shared their stored food happily. The grasshopper, cold and starving, went to the anthill and knocked on the door. "Please, dear ants, give me some food. I am hungry and cold," he pleaded. The old ant looked at him and said, "We worked hard when the weather was good. We told you to do the same, but you did not listen. Now winter is here, and we only have enough food for our family." The grasshopper felt ashamed. He realized his mistake. "I should have worked hard like the ants instead of wasting time," he thought. Feeling sorry for him, the ants gave him a little food and let him stay near their warm home. But they also gave him a lesson. Hard work today will bring a comfortable tomorrow. From that day on, the grasshopper promised himself that he would never be lazy again. When summer returned, he worked hard with the ants, collecting food for the next winter. As the days went by, the grasshopper realized that hard work was not as bad as he had thought. He felt proud of himself when he saw the food he had gathered. The ants welcomed him as part of their team, and he was happy to have learned a valuable lesson. Every morning, the grasshopper would wake up early, just like the ants, and join them in collecting food. He no longer wasted time playing while others worked. He understood that there was a time for work and a time for play. One day, a young ant asked the grasshopper, "Why do you work so hard now?" The grasshopper smiled and replied, "I have learned that if I prepare today, I will not suffer tomorrow. I do not want to go hungry in winter again." The young ant nodded and continued working alongside him. The other ants saw the change in the grasshopper and were happy to have him as a helper. As the seasons changed again, the grasshopper felt secure knowing he had enough food. Winter came, but this time he was not cold or hungry. He had stored enough food to last through the harsh days. The ants and the grasshopper sat together inside the warm anthill, enjoying their meals and sharing stories. The grasshopper no longer laughed at hard work. Instead, he encouraged others to be prepared. Whenever he met other insects who were lazy, he told them his story and warned them about the dangers of not working for the future. As years passed, the grasshopper became a respected member of the meadow. Other grasshoppers who had once been lazy started working too, learning from his example. The meadow became a place where all creatures helped each other and worked hard to prepare for the future. And so, the hardworking ants and the once lazy grasshopper lived happily, knowing that their efforts ensured a good life for all. Moral of the story: hard work and preparation lead to success and safety, while laziness can bring trouble. Always be wise and plan for the future.